Picture this. Back in the day, you are on top of the gaming world. No one can touch you in terms of the quality of your games. Everyone loves you because they know that you as a company can deliver, and they buy into that every single time. Fallout 3 dropping in 2008 like a nuke of wonder. Skyrim in 2011, rewriting what open worlds could truly be. Bethesda was untouchable. The kings of immersion, you could say, for the time. Fast forward to now and we've got Fallout 76 and Starfield. Wow, what the hell actually happened? The downgrade in quality of Bethesda's games over the years has been nothing short of, well, crazy. There are so many factors to why this has actually happened, and in today's video I'm going to be looking a bit more into them. Poor writing that's lost its soul, an outdated game engine creaking under the weight of ambition, and a greed so thick it's choked out the magic of what once was at Bethesda. If you are a fan of gaming videos or Bethesda videos in general, I seem to make a lot of them, please be sure to consider subscribing. I do post weekly videos which I'm sure you will really enjoy. But anyway, let's get into Bethesda's colossal downgrade. I'm not sure about you guys, but for me the good old days were Fallout 3 in 2008 and Skyrim in 2011. Now, I didn't particularly play these games at the time of 2008 and 2011, I'd be a bit young to understand them then, but for me those were the two pinnacle games of Bethesda's era. Definitely the games that I enjoyed the most from them, although I did have a lot of fun on Elder Scrolls Online with friends. These weren't just games, I really think they were seismic shifts, worlds so rich that you could just lose weeks in them. This was truly Bethesda at their peak in my opinion, before the wheels fell off. Fallout 3 hit like a nuke to the chest, Bethesda's very first swing at the Fallout franchise, and well, they really nailed it. Sure, their writing wasn't ever their crown jewel. Liam Neeson's Find Me Dad quest was as straight as an arrow, but I suppose it had some soul. And the ending? Sacrifice yourself or send Leons in? Sure, it was flawed, but it really sticks with you after the game. It wasn't perfect by any means, sure, but it was raw, gritty, and for me, really unforgettable. Bethesda's wasteland wonderland, I like to think of it as. It is a game, however, I will never replay again, just purely because of the magic of playing it that very first time. I wouldn't want to go ahead and ruin my first time experience and the memories I have of it, if you know what I mean. However, a game that Bethesda released that you can absolutely play as many times as you want in my opinion was Skyrim. Skyrim dropped in 2011. Surely you can consider it a cultural tsunami that just swept us all away. The Nord vibe was just pure magic, the snow-capped peaks for example, the ancient ruins, a sky lit by auras. Writing again wasn't their best, but let's be real, Alduin's Eat the World gig was just a very cardboard-esque villain. Yet there was something about this game that just didn't make you care about that, it was just so immersive and so great. Skyrim was truly magical. Not flawless, but a juggernaut that really defined a decade, from the arrow to the knee memes to modders just remaking it to this day. But I'm sure you know plenty about both of those games. In my opinion, they were truly Bethesda's glory days. Bugs, yeah, they had them. NPCs flying into orbit, quests just glitching out, but the charm for me drowned it out. Writing wasn't always deep, especially Skyrim's, but the worlds truly carried it, delivering that raw, unfiltered joy that we would really kill for now. This was Bethesda before the greed, before the rot, a time where they built legends, not letdowns. So, these golden days really had us hooked. Bethesda could do no wrong, right? Wrong, obviously, because fast forward to 2015 and Fallout 4 rolls out. The first real whiff of trouble in my opinion, the moment of downhill really does kick off here. It's not a total train wreck yet, the world's still got that Bethesda pull, but the cracks really are there for me. The writing is slipping beyond lows I thought were possible, priorities are shifting, and the magic that carried Skyrim just starts to flicker. This is where the downgrade begins to creep in, and it's a slow burn that sets the stage for the mess to come. Fallout 4 drops you into the Commonwealth. Boston's a wrecked beauty. It's got a lot of potential in all fairness. You're a vault dweller, spouse gunned down, kid snatched. It's a setup screaming for emotional heft. But in my opinion, the writing just fumbles it hard. The Sean hunt is the backbone of this game. Find your son, unravel the Institute's secrets, but it's just a straight shot with no soul. Sean's reveal as the father, the big twist, no slow build, no gut punch, just a surprise. It just felt unlanded like a deflated balloon, if you know what I mean. Compare that to other games like The Witcher 3 that come out the same year. Geralt's hunt for Ciri weaves loss, love and twists that really do stick with you. Fallout 4's story is a checklist. go here, kill this, find that, no depth to chew on whatsoever. Dialogue is really where it stings, the four-wheel option, yes, no, maybe, or sarcasm. It is a downgrade from Fallout 3's branching chats. Pick what you want, the outcome is the same 90% of the time. As well as that, the gameplay shifted too. Settlement building is just a new toy, it's a double-edged sword as well. Hours crafting sanctuary, scrapping junk for turrets, it's a sandbox flex and some really enjoyed it to be fair, but it is a time sink that snaps the story focus. Fallout 4 really leaned hard on these systems, build, loop, repeat, while the writing took a back seat. A really poor substitute in my opinion. But after Fallout 4 we really hit a detonation point. Fallout 76 in 2018. Bethesda's greed bomb that blew their golden legacy to bits. This wasn't just a misstep, it was a full-on implosion, a multiplayer cash grab so blatant it's the poster child for their colossal downgrade in my opinion. Poor writing, a creaky engine, and shameless profiteering collided here. Launch day itself was a disaster. The map just felt like a hollow shell of the Fallout world. Writing? What writing? You're chasing overseer logs and robot chatter. Collect 10 holotapes. Kill 20 scorched. Radiant quests on repeat with no soul. Sure, you can consider it to be an online game, but can you not incorporate a half-decent story or purpose towards your quests just because it's online? That's even if you got around to doing the quests, because half the time servers would just crash. Enemies would T-pose like mannequins. Duping plugs literally let players hoard nukes. Frame rates tanked in scorched earth events as well. There was so much wrong with this game, and you thought they would understand how to make an online game after making The Elder Scrolls 6, which does have its flaws as well. And for the greed, oh my goodness. Microtransactions via the Atom Shop hit day one. $12 for a power armor skin, $7 for a fridge to store junk in a game about scavenging. Fallout First, a $100 a year sub locks private servers and unlimited scrap storage behind a paywall. Skyrim sold us a world. Fallout 76 sells us convenience for a world that barely works. And then you have the Microsoft 2021 buyout, and that looms here as well. 76 was their test balloon for a live service cash grab, not a love letter to Fallout. Every update, Steel Dawn, Expeditions, drips with monetization, not magic. But if you really want to know the final nail in the coffin for Bethesda's magic going lost, then look no further than Starfield. Released in 2023, this was really the moment for me where I just thought Bethesda have lost it all. Like, there's no way this is a Bethesda game. But it was. And it was so bad. Bethesda's shiny new IP that was supposed to blast and black into glory, but instead it was a cosmic collapse. A supernova of disappointment that seals their colossal downgrade. Billed as Skyrim in space, it was promised as a galaxy of wonder after the wreckage of Fallout 76. What did we get? A soulless slog. The writing just went to abysmal levels in this game, to a point where I couldn't think they could get this low. A fetch quest throughout space with the Constellation chasing artifacts. Wow, how immersive, how fun. The crew, Sarah Morgan, Sam Coe, they did tease depth at first, you know, Sarah's an ex-grizzled soldier, Sam's a cowboy with a kid, but they're just so static. Sarah's a talking head who nods at your loot, and after you do romance it offers you nothing but a cheeky line after you sleep. Factions like the United Colonies and the Freestar Collective do hint at politics, control versus freedom, but it's a surface level mush, no New Vegas bite where the NRC and the Legion clashed with their real ideology. With Starfield there was a load screen every 5 minutes, ship to planet, planet to base, base to bathroom. Over 1,000 planets they bragged. Most are barren rocks with copy and paste outposts that are artificially generated. Fallout 76 had laggy scorch beasts. Starfield has ships clipping through stations, NPCs phasing out mid-chat, and UI clunkier than pre-Raw Terminal. If you went ahead and contrasted a game like No Man's Sky, procedural worlds teeming with life, seamless landings, Bethesda shipped a creaky relic stretched beyond its orbit. Can you imagine if they go ahead and release Elder Scrolls 6 in a state like this? However, there is one factor in Bethesda for me that deserves an entire section, and that is the writing. I'll just cut to the core of Bethesda's downgrade, the poor writing, the soul drain that's bled their games dry. Back in the old days, I'd like to think Fallout 3 and Skyrim had their charms, quirks, and a spark that kept us hooked even when the scripts weren't gold. However, I can't apply this same excuse for Starfield because there is just no charm there whatsoever. When we look back at a game like Fallout 3, it wasn't a literacy masterpiece. Liam Neeson's quest, like I previously mentioned, was very basic, but I do think it had soul. Three Dogs Radio rants painted the wasteland's pulse. Liberty Prime's committee smashing rampage was a spectacle. These kind of things for me do compensate for the poor writing, not poor but basic, the very linear storyline that many of these games have. These added to the world and to the immersion of a great game. Something I can't say the same for Starfield. As well as that, you had Skyrim, which leaned on a world magic over writing depth. All of the quests were pretty linear, but it worked for its time. The Dark Brotherhood's Assassin's gig had a sinister edge. Thief Guild had a sneaky pulse, and a bit of lore. Writing was never their peak, and it never will be the peak of Bethesda with the particular man they have in charge, but it had heart, a vibe that synced with the worlds in my opinion. For me, the drain started in Fallout 4's Sean Hunt, a super linear story with a very predictable twist at the end. As well as that, then you had the dialogue options.
If you're here to talk me into working on Liberty Prime, you can forget it.
What changed your mind?
Nothing changed my mind. I promised you I'd return to the Brotherhood, and I've kept my end of the bargain.
Do I need to remind you why you made that promise in the first place?
No, that won't be necessary. Tell Proctor Ingram to get her scribes ready. It's going to take a hell of a lot of work to get Liberty Prime back online, but we'll get it done.
Like, seriously, what are we doing here? Like, what kind of Nimrod would write... Oh, yeah, that guy, okay. Are you guys seeing my point here? Are you seeing the problem with these games? They treat you like you are an imbecile, like you are a Neanderthal. Lead writer at Bethesda, Emil Pagliarulo's player is the story excuse is the main driving factor behind this. His opinion is freedom's king, depth's a peasant, and he said it himself in 2016 that he is not here for detailed plots. Skyrim got on by world pull. Fallout 76 and Starfield don't. Players need more than a sandbox to care, and Emil cannot seem to fathom that. Bethesda's kind of just stuck on figure it out yourself, and that seems to be their validation for not creating an immersive story for you, the player. Because you are the story. We all really would have appreciated an improvement on their writing in 2023 with Starfield, but it just seemed to actually get worse. And if you want the player to be the story, then what kind of story is the player going to make from chasing artifacts in artificially generated planets? What do you want us to do in a situation like that? Because what I can imagine 90% of players actually went ahead and did is turn the game off and went to an RPG game that actually respected their time and actually didn't insult their intelligence. Thank you very much for watching once again, and make sure to like, comment and subscribe if you've enjoyed the video, and let me know what you think in the comments below.